And so I want to think a little bit about this idea of trauma, or excuse me, identity being who God has made me to be that facet, that unique facet of His image that He's given me to bear, and how trauma comes in and wounds that. So you see, we talked when we talked about what trauma was, we talked about how we all need certain belongings given to us in order to become who God has designed us to be and bear His image in the way He has created us to do. When those things are lacking, it creates those traumas. And then, because they are survival needs, we have to do something to fill in the gap of what was needed. We cannot tolerate or survive having those things missing. And that is what leads us then to all kinds of sinful behaviors. Sin being anything which damages God's image in us. It leads us to addictions. It leads us to broken relationships. It leads us to reaching for false substitutes, outside things to try and fill those gaps. And then we start to shape our identity around those things. So our identity can become, I'm an alcoholic, or I'm a sex addict. Our identity can become, I'm a good father. That's who I am. And so I have to make sure my children are looking good so that I look good. And you see how that's a false substitute, because I don't feel secure in that, or in my relationship with a husband or a wife. Sometimes we do that with outside accomplishments, with titles, pastor, doctor, lawyer. We do that with education. We do that with money, how much money we make, what car we drive, how big of a house we have, where we live. All of those things are false substitutes, because when I don't have those things that I needed given to me, and I don't have that security in who I am, because I am love. Who I am is always who I am in connection with others and with the Lord. Then I have to fill that with other things. I'm trying to fill those needs myself. I'm trying to give myself what I didn't receive. And unfortunately, it just doesn't work that way. That's what causes wounds. That's what leads us to sinful behaviors and sinful patterns that end up causing broken relationships with ourselves, with others, and oftentimes even with